What's going on, guys? This is Aaron with Departures Capital. We're here with Michael Williams, chairman at Aftermath Silver. Nice to have you back, Michael. How are you doing today?
Hey, good, Aaron. How are you?
Doing great. Excited to have you back. Silver is up quite substantially today.
Yes.
And, last time we spoke, you guys just acquired the Beringhuela silver copper deposit in Peru. For those of you who might not be familiar with Beringhuela, it looks to be one of the largest underdeveloped silver deposits in the Americas, with a historic resource of over 100 million ounces and measured and indicated, with a further 25 million ounces in inferred. What I also like is that you also have 45 million tons of copper grading, 0.7%. With all that silver and copper recently hitting 7-year highs, Beringhuela looks like it could be a home run, and judging by your stock price, the market seems to agree. Can you give us some updates, comment on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, Beringhuela, when we picked it up, I think when we first talked, we paid 8 cents an ounce predicated on the deal that we did with SSR Mining. At the time, we were trading at around 28 cents an ounce value. So there seemed good value at the time, but since then, I think the market has realized that this is a significant silver copper story. And we're probably trading, I haven't done the math because the stock is up significantly today, but in the last couple of days, we're probably trading around 65 cents an ounce in the ground, but we're still undervalued compared to some of the other silver developers. So I think there's some ways to go, but it's incumbent on us now, Aaron, to start demonstrating the economics of Beringhuela. And we're going to do that by doing a pre-feasibility study. It looks like through the COVID protocols, we'll be able to get on the ground shortly, which will allow us to start that process. Now, given that there's over 300 drill holes already in Beringhuela, our feeling is most of the drilling we're going to do is going to focus on metallurgy, which is going to be critical on this ore body, like it is with just about everyone, and also our geostatistical drilling, or geotechnical, pardon me. And then we're going to test the edges of the ore body. But one of the things that I like is we'll also be drill testing 2 of our significant exploration targets that have a lot of the same signatures that Beringhuela did when it was discovered. So I think there's potential for new discovery, but there's also the big potential. And I think what your subscribers should focus on is, can we demonstrate this project is economic? Now, one of the criteria that we look at as a company is basically 4 things. One, can we find an ore body deposit that will have a 10 to 15-year mine life at a minimum of 6 million ounces of silver production per year? We want to make sure it can work at lower silver prices. I think you and I were discussing off air what we're thinking is going to happen with the silver price. But when you run one of these companies, you also have to look the other way behind you. And what would happen if silver went down to $17, $18? Will this project work? And that's our basic criteria that we use when we look at projects like Beringhuela. The other key tenet is, want to have a silver dominant ore body. A lot of these silver companies, professed silver companies, tend to be lead zinc mines or deposits that have a silver component that works at higher silver prices. So it has to have a silver focus. And then one of the key elements is, will it work in a conceptual open pit? Because if you look at the silver space, there's very few large open pit ore bodies. And we have 2 deposits that we think could fall into that category in Beringhuela and Chayacoyo. So we're very fortunate that way. And our 3rd ore body, Cachanel deposit, it won't meet that size criteria, but given its infrastructure, it currently has 16 million ounces in measured and a further 2 million in inferred. It could end up with going into production potentially before the other 2, given its proximity to infrastructure. So I think the company's on the right track. We've got certainly 2 significant deposits. And at Chayacoyo, which is in the northern region of Chile, we'll be going to a PEA preliminary economic assessment and hope to have that done within 24 months. And as I mentioned, at Triacoyo, we'll be going to a pre-feasibility within hopefully 24 months also.
Great. So, the company recently released a mineral resource estimate for your Triacolo silver gold project in Chile, as you were just speaking about. Can you give us some more details about that?
Yeah, absolutely, Aaron. Well, we just released our National Instrument 43101 resource at Triacoyo. And what we did is we incorporated some previous work above the main vein that was in what we call the hanging wall. And we focused on some of the assay results that were returned in the mineralization. And it's allowed us now to incorporate that into the resource. So we're sitting at now 35 million ounces in an indicated category with a further 11 million in an inferred. But the key thing is 84% of that falls now within conceptual open pit. And it was always our theory at Triacoyo that those ounces would fall within an open pit. And it looks like they do now. The PEA will go a long way to confirming that, but so far we believe our strategy, we're on the right road, and at the end of the day we'll be able to demonstrate that the majority of the ore at Triacoyo is in fact in an open pit conceptual shell, which is where we hoped it would be.
That's great. So, I don't think a lot of people realize that with those two projects and the third asset, Chachinal, you're one of the principal silver development companies. Can you tell us why that's so significant?
Well, I think, the silver space is interesting from a company point of view. It's, if you have the right assets, I think it's a great space to be in. A lot of people follow the metal, but from a corporate point of view, it's hard to find those assets. They don't fall from trees.
Yeah.
A lot of silver deposits aren't what I would categorize as high quality ounces. They may need $30 silver to work. Now, I'm not saying we won't be in an environment that has $30 silver, but we just prefer to put a safety net under and have our projects work at a lower silver price. So I think if you look at Aftermath, it's a silver dominant junior company. It's got significant ounces through our three ore bodies, and we've got, more importantly, quality ounces. So it falls back to that original strategy that I discussed, which was, the goal is to have over 10 years production, preferably 15, and producing north of 6 million ounces. Those are the goals. And I think in two of the three projects, you can say they'll fall within that strategy. So
Wonderful. So, what will Aftermath Silver be doing next year in 2021 to create shareholder value or spark the interest of, let's say, a prospective shareholder who's looking at the company right now?
Well, I think we'll be doing several things. It's my job and the CEO, Ralph Rushton's job, to increase the valuation to where we consider we're fairly valued with our peers. I don't think we're quite there yet. I know everybody says that, but I think if you look at the subjective data, you can draw your own conclusions. But going forward, what's really going to drive this stock, other than a move in the silver price, the leverage that we afford to the commodity, I think is significant. It's like throwing gasoline on a fire if that silver price moves. But it's delivering drill results. I think at Triacoyo, it's continued to hit in the hanging wall, which is the mineralization that I mentioned above the vein. It's to finish seeing how much ore is actually hosted within that vein system. Deposits open. So, we need to see how big Triacoyo is going to be. Once we know that, then you can attribute your economic parameters to it. We need to advance our water permits there, things of that nature. And at Berenguela, we need to demonstrate to the market that our metallurgy works. Of a deposit of this scope and size, one of the key tenets is going to be, does the metallurgy work? Now, we did a lot of due diligence before we purchased this project to we're confident it will, but we need to show the market it will. And that'll be done through the pre-feasibility study. But we also need to have it advanced to the point where we can show the economics of it. And then, it's already largely an institutional story. Since we last spoke, we'd raised $17 million, a majority of it with institutions. But I think as we advance the story, you'll see more and more get involved. So that's kind of the goals going forward. Demonstrate economics, demonstrate the size. There should be significant news flow, and then go from there. And that Cashinel's an interesting project. Given its size, we don't know if it's going to move our needle internally, given the other two projects. So what we're contemplating is we've received offers for it. Maybe we could even look as a spin out in 2021 and to generate some value for Aftermath shareholders. So there's a lot of things we're looking at, but the focus is definitely Barranquilla and Chico.
Very exciting. So what's the one thing that you're most excited about for Aftermath Silver in the next, let's say, 12 months?
Well, it would be the leverage to silver is tremendous, but just putting out those results, I think being able to demonstrate to the market that, hey, not only do we have significant scope to these projects, we can demonstrate they can work at various metal prices, and I think that'll go a long way to adding value to the stock.
Great. So, with silver prices on the rise like today, how do you feel about the current silver price, and what are you expecting 2021 to be like?
That's a good question. Internally, we're thrilled if silver is above 20. Anything with a 2 in front of it is great for us. If it moves into the 30 range, and my sense is it will, just given what's going on in the world. And we were talking about the stimulus, that directly impacts the price of silver. One thing I love about the silver commodity versus gold is I think the odds of silver going to 50 are a lot greater than gold going to 4,000. Gold's gone to 4,000. Something catastrophic has probably happened in the world or economy. I can see silver going to 50. It's not beyond the realm. Silver goes to 50. I remember when that happened in the 80s, stocks just went parabolic. And I don't think this would be any exception. So with Aftermath, what we've done is we use long-term consensus pricing, which right now is $18 to put a safety net into our projects. But at the same time, we offer that hyper leverage associated with those type of metal prices, which, fingers crossed, we will see. The question when you're trying to develop something, though, Aaron, is not how high can it go, but where will it end up being a sustainable price?
Exactly.
If it's $25 silver sustainable, that's amazing. And it really changes the economics of a lot of companies dramatically.
Agreed. Great insight. So last but not least, where can our viewers find out more information about Aftermath Silver, or where should they go?
Probably our website, www.aftermathsilver.com. That's the best. We've got our latest presentation is going to go up. I think tomorrow it'll have the numbers that I've discussed, and we'll keep everyone up to date through that. Or feel free to reach out to me, mw@aftermathsilver.com directly, or R. Rushton @aftermathsilver.com, our CEO and president. We're happy to answer anyone's questions or provide further information.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Michael. Look forward to having you back, and
you bet.
Look forward to watching, your story unfold, but also just silver in general, because I'm super bullish for 2021.
Yeah, we've waited a long time, haven't we?
We have. It's been a long period of consolidation, but looks to be, we're breaking out. So hopefully.
Stars are lining up. Thanks, Aaron, for having me on.
Great. We'll talk soon. All right, guys, that wraps up the video. Thank you so much for watching. I just wanted to say, if you do support me, the channel, and all these videos, then kindly smash that like button along with hitting the subscribe button and the bell for notifications for future videos. I did also want to say, check the disclaimer down below This video was sponsored by the company that we are talking about today. So check the disclaimer, full disclosure, and we're out of here. Always remember, guys, Departures Capital is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. Don't buy or sell a stock because you heard it on here. Buy or sell a stock because you've done your research, you've done your thorough due diligence, and you're making your own personal investment decisions for yourself. This video is not financial advice. We'll see you guys in our next video.